morning, football fans, and welcome to 3 and Out, right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all. That is sports. Here we go, y'all. We are off to the races yet again. You know, football season is a magical time. But bowl season, championships, and the race to the NFL playoffs is a whole different season on its own. And then you actually have the playoffs itself for the NFL, which is basically another season of its own. It's kind of crazy. But you gotta love it, right? This is football, man. This is what it's all about. And this is 3 and Out right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. It is Monday, December 29, 2025. Can you believe it? 2026 is around the corner, like literally days away. And we've had some great champs so far this year in high school. 3C2A, NJCAA, Division II, NAIA, and we're getting real close to D3 in the Stag Bowl. We're getting real close to the FCS, and of course, we're getting well, it's not that close, but we're getting closer to the FBS, and like I said, those NFL playoffs are heating up. What happened this weekend? Well, this is going to be a fun show today. We're going to be talking about all these crazy games. I mean, what do you do, right? What do you do when you're back and forth all night long and you come down to your final play? Well, we'll talk about that with the Bears last night. The most horrible toilet bowl you've ever seen happened yesterday. It was hilarious, and we must talk about that. Seahawks being too much for the Panthers. Patriots looking like their old selves. And boy, oh boy, do not get me started on the Steelers. That, and of course, plenty of games coming up today. We got the J-Lab Birmingham Bowl coming on up in just a few hours. Sit tight. We're going to jump through all of those hoops. And of course, preview some more games coming on up from our bowl games for this week. Ladies and gentlemen, you are now tuned in live to 3 and Out, right here on IE Sports Radio. Your direct feed for all that is sports. Welcome, all you diehard football fans out there. Good morning. It is, again, Monday, December 29, 2025. And we got ourselves a fun one today, man. Our show with all kinds of punch and packing in there is going to be a lot of fun. And, of course, we have plenty to talk about when it comes to those scenarios for the NFL. The schedule was released. Well, basically, it all fell into place of what games are going to be on what times and all that good stuff. We got a fun Sunday night football game, I'll tell you that. We got a lot coming your way, so here we go. And of course, to help me do all that, man, we got my boy. He, of course, is IE Sports Radio Hall of Famer, the host of Set Point, our volleyball show here on IE Sports Radio, and of course, our SoCal insider, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Teran Rodriguez. Good day to you, good sir. Good morning. How are you?
Doing good, Larry. Glad to be talking some football with you. And yeah, we had a lot going on these past couple days, and I'm ready to break it all down.
Oh, we did, man. I got to give my boy an applause. Some more sound effects, by the way, Teran. So I'm just, I'm going to have a fun time today with those. I'm just warning you, me and sound effects, we kind of go hand in hand. We're gonna have some drum rolls today. Oh yeah, we're gonna have some of those. We're gonna have some gong action. We're gonna have some of those. We're gonna have some fun ones, dude. We're really gonna enjoy ourselves today with the sound effects. So, with that said, fight! Just kidding. Good morning to everybody in the chat, by the way. Mr. Glenn Ritter, thank you, sir. Brian Francione, that's going to be a fun game, especially because I don't believe in the Steelers anymore. I'm sorry. After yesterday, I can No, I'm sorry. So anyway, we're going to be talking about all that good stuff today. Appreciate you guys for tuning in, man. Teran, let's do this, man. It's going to be a fun one. So obviously, I always wanted to, just like last time, we already have a ton of people tuning in, so I want to make sure we give love to our awesome sponsors here real quick. But plenty come up today. Again, yesterday's games were freaking crazy. Chargers yesterday. I'm sorry, Teran. I didn't know they were in the business of laying eggs, but unfortunately they did. But hey, at least they're still in. I know. Teran don't want to talk about that one. It's okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's
On
okay.
Saturday was tough.
Saturday. Oh, that's right. Sorry, Saturday. Yes. And like I said, the Raiders found a way to say, "Hey, we are the worst team on this earth." Oh, we're gonna have fun with that one. And of course, there's plenty of great games, man. Bengals destroying the Cardinals. The Saints and Titans playing in the Toilet Bowl 2.0, which is pretty funny. Buccaneers absolutely solidified that they were a bunch of fakers. I mean, we're gonna have fun today, Teran. So, let's get ready. Here we go. Take ourselves a quick break. When we get back, we got plenty of football coming your way. You are watching 3 and Out right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all. That is sports. We'll be right back after this.
Hi, eSports Radio fans. This show is brought to you by Planet Jerky Premium Brisket Beef Jerky. Planet Jerky is the official jerky of the 2022 California League champion Lake Elsinore Storm, single-A affiliate of the San Diego Padres. This all-brisket jerky has gluten-free options, contains no MSG, no sodium nitrate, is low in sugar, and high in protein. Go to their website at planetjerky.net and follow them on Instagram at Planet Jerky. Planet Jerky, the jerky that's on a whole other planet.
For the last 10 years, IE Sports Radio has been bringing you amazing content ranging from interviewing legendary athletes, coaches, and other authorized media personnel to building tailor-made shows dedicated to all major sports cities around the country. Make sure to follow us at IE Sports Radio on X, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube to keep up with the latest in sports and with all of our shows. Also, make sure to check out our daily updated website at iesportsradio.com. At iesportsradio.com, you can see our daily show schedule and check out all of our show pages with personal bios to learn a little bit more about each of our awesome hosts. In addition to our show pages, you can catch the IE Sports Radio blog, Hall of Fame, Fans of the Month page, and our merchandise shop, including t-shirts, tank tops, caps, long sleeves, hoodies, and more. For now over a decade here at IE Sports Radio, we've continued to be by the fans, for the fans, and we thank you all for your support and for making IE Sports Radio your direct feed for all that is sports. Welcome back to 3 and Out right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Make sure to give us a follow down there. I got to add Instagram as well. And of course, website coming back this week. It's a surprise. But again, it could be Monday through Friday. And today, I'm just saying, today is Monday. So I'm just saying, looking forward to it, man. Looking forward to all that good stuff. Of course, big shout out to our awesome sponsor, Planet Jerky, Premium Beef Jerky, and of course, Vital Apparel. Appreciate those guys as well. Show some love, man. We appreciate all of you guys, all of the great sponsorship. Wonderful stuff from these great sponsors of ours. Help promote and donate, of course, to mental health with Vital Apparel Gym Wear. Use our code IESR, 15% off right there, and of course help them fight the amazing journey to supporting mental health. And of course, check out Planet Jerky. Show them some love. Give them a follow at Planet Jerky on Instagram, and of course planetjerky.net. Grab you some jerky. We appreciate you guys, man. Thank you so very much. And well, let's get at it, Teran. So first things first, man, we left off on Saturday morning. And well, we had we had some fun ones, man. We're gonna go ahead and recap the 8 college games, well, the 8 bowl games, man. So here we go. We got 8 bowl games to talk about, and 2 NFL games on Saturday. And we should kind of breeze through these. Again, about an hour show today. Not very much, but definitely some fun stuff. So going back on Saturday, man. Again, we had some really good bowl games. Let's see here. I know, let's see, where did we start out? Whoopsies. Well, while I go back and find all that fun stuff from this past Saturday, I'll tell you right now, there's one game on Saturday that really, really was a bigger surprise. And that, to me, that was the New Mexico Bowl. I don't know if Teran got to watch that one or not, but that was my all-time favorite game of the day. But oh my gosh, what a game! And hey, I'll say that I was sort of wrong, not fully wrong, but sort of wrong. So I can say that. That's fine. But all right, so let's go ahead and get to the recap of these games. That day started us out on the 27th. That day started us out with the Military Bowl, actually. Teran and I were on air while that game was on for a little bit. And this was a good one. Statement win in Indianapolis. Big statement win here. East Carolina did it, dude. They forced 5 turnovers, and they knock off Pitt 23-17 in the Military Bowl. Chasten Didda hits Anthony Smith for 2 long touchdowns. Nick Mazie drills 4 field goals to seal it. The Pirates finished 9-4 with authority, man. How about these guys getting that done? How about that? How about the way to finish off a season for a team who honestly isn't really in the national eye that much?
Yeah, and honestly, ECU really impressed, especially in that second half. I thought their defense was flying all over the place, and personally, I think for ECU, it was just a great overall win. I think there's like some sort of stat that they've won 8 of their last 9 bowl games under their head coach. Meanwhile, for Pitt, they're actually now 2-6 all time in bowl games under their current head coach. So to say that this was kind of an underwhelming season is kind of an understatement, because Pitt really turned the ball over quite a bit. They turned the ball over 5 times, which is just not going to happen, which you can't win games if you're turning the ball over 5 times. And ECU only had 2 third down conversions. They only converted on 3rd down twice. So I think for Pitt, this game was on their platter. It's just that they just kept getting in their own way. And it's a bummer just because I think Pitt definitely has the talent, but unfortunately for them, ECU had other plans. And credit to ECU. They really showed up and showed out this game.
They did. And you got to give them some love for that, right? You got to give them their flowers. ECU played well. Pitt, I don't know, man. They just kind of they were another team who laid an egg on Saturday for sure. But crazy game. Hats off to Pitt on a really good season. How about this next one, man? Big Ten grit in the Bronx. Penn State. Dude, you called it. I picked Clemson because I thought Clemson might have the more complete team, especially after they lost their coach and everything. Nope. The freaking Nittany Lions were resilient, man. They closed the year strong, even after a year that was very up and down. They knocked off Clemson 22-10 in the Pinstripe Bowl. It was crazy, man. Ethan Grunkmeyer, he threw for 262 yards, 2 touchdowns, and highlighted by a 73-yard strike to Trevon Pena. So just really cool stuff here from these guys, man. The Nittany Lions came, they showed out. Defense put the clamps on late. It was a great game, man. Penn State wins this one in the Bronx.
Yeah, and Ethan Grunkmeyer, I gotta say, with all that happened with him being thrown in the fire after Drew Aller got hurt, I think, and obviously with the coaching change, I think Penn State really utilized their defense really well, and they utilized the run game as well. I think it was just an overall great game for Penn State, and against a pretty darn good Clemson team too. the funny thing is that Penn State and Clemson both were started out in the top 5 in their AP poll, as Penn State started off at number 2 while Clemson started off at number 4. So this was the kind of how did we get here bowl. But yeah, Penn State just had a great game overall. For Clemson, this is going to be a season that they're going to want to forget. This is the first time they've failed to reach 8 wins since 2010, and you kind of got to you really have to hope that your recruiting class is going to be good this year. Otherwise, you're still going to be chasing the coattails of the likes of Miami, Georgia Tech, Louisville, and so on and so forth. So this was just a season to forget if you're Clemson, and hopefully for their sake next year they're able to rebound and reload. But I also have to give it up to Penn State's interim coach. Afterward, he was emotional at the end, which obviously showed that he cared. Obviously, it's a bowl game. Everyone thinks that's not of any interest, but Penn State, with all the litany that they went through, winning their first 3 and then losing their next 6 and losing their head coach and then winning out to be bowl game eligible and then beating a solid Clemson team, shows the resiliency and grit that Penn State showed. And I think hopefully for their sake that their future will be bright. I'm sure they could have themselves a good future with their new head coach, just because they obviously got him from Iowa State. So yeah, Matt Campbell was his name. That was the interim coach.
Great year for these guys, man. Honestly, I really, you're right. It's really cool. The emotions ran high. This was a very, very solid game. And again, just hats off to Penn State for battling all they did. That was really, really cool. Next game, man. Army steamrolls UConn, man. Army dominance at Fenway. Pinstripe was fun. Now the Army, Pinstripe Bowl, close and, well, not really that close, but more competitive. The Fenway Bowl, nowhere near competitive. Army is freaking steamrolled UConn. I did not see this coming. I thought UConn would give way more of a fight. 41-6. Yeah, Army controlled the trenches and the clock from the very start, man. Kalen Helms accounted for 3 touchdowns. I mean, just crazy, right? Gospower Nuwali, I believe is how you say his name, rips off 171 yards and 2 scores. And the Black Knights pile it up. Freaking 476 yards. Solid day for that offense. Total statement win over the Huskies. UConn really didn't have an answer.
Let me just say Terry Smith was the Penn State interim coach. But yeah, for Army, I think they're now 7-1 in their last 8 bowl games, which is pretty impressive if you ask me. And I have to admit, Army really performed well. I thought this was just an overall masterclass game. I didn't think they had that offense in them. I mean, you saw their game against Navy where they were just getting in their own way. They really turned it up offensively, and they were just very efficient on third down. They dominated time of possession. They just looked like the Army that really played Navy close. So I think for Army, this was a convincing win for their sake. And I guess now when it comes to bowl games, you got to pick Army just because they're more likely to win bowl games than they aren't. And I think once Army just got off to a big lead, I think that's pretty much was pretty much good game right there. And am I reading this correctly in terms of box score? That Army only threw it to one guy. Their quarterback, Cale Helms, threw it to Noah Short. Noah Short had all of their receptions. So interesting game plan right there for Army. They pretty much just ran the ball for the most part. But yeah, Cale Helms threw it to Noah Short, who had all the receiving yards.
That was like it. Crazy, right? Like one dude. That was their whole offense. I mean, what do you do? But yeah.
But pretty much Army controlled the game. They just needed to run the ball and just control time of possession, and that's pretty much what they did.
That's exactly what happened in this one. So next game, wow. Another fun one here, because this was actually a really good one. The Pop-Tarts Bowl, man. We knew this was going to be competitive, and it was. Oh, my gosh, it was. I love the trophy, by the way. I did not pick the winner. You did, Teran. but it was still a great game, man. Cougars complete the comeback. BYU storms back from an 11-point second half deficit to defeat Georgia Tech 25-21 in the Pop-Tarts Bowl. As let's see, how do you say his name? Javisa Damouni punches in the go-ahead touchdown with 2 minutes left. Bear Bachmeyer throws for 325 yards. Let's go. Chase Ryan, the tight end, man, dominates the middle. BYU's defense seals it. They had a late game interception, just ran that clock out. It was a great, great game for BYU. Georgia Tech fought, though. This was a really good game. Awesome, awesome game in Orlando. Just the kind of bowl game you love to watch, man, especially if you don't have a dog in the fight.
First and foremost, this game needs to be a college football playoff game. It's time we make the Pop-Tarts Bowl a college football playoff game.
Please.
We need to have this as the college football playoff game. But, yeah, BYU, this is the first time they've won 12 games in a season since, I think, 2001. And this was an amazing comeback just because they needed that fourth quarter to basically make their presence known. And also, their defense also came up big against Georgia Tech because Georgia Tech really had a big gain play, and it was fourth down, and then BYU eventually picked off Haynes King. And I just got to say, Bear Bachmeyer is the future for this team. If BYU could just keep Bear at BYU, the Cougars could actually be a threat. And I was concerned about BYU going into this game just because it's a freshman playing against a seasoned Georgia Tech team that almost made the ACC championship. BYU, going into the fourth quarter, I was thinking, well, it looks like BYU isn't proving themselves as college football playoff candidates, but they really showed up big in that fourth quarter. And I hope for Haynes King, he does eventually go off to the NFL. I mean, I think he's a senior this year. Let me check. Yeah, he's a senior this year. So unless he has one more year of eligibility, I hope he goes off to the NFL just because he's a fantastic quarterback and I think he'll do great things. But for BYU, this was their time in the sun. And if they could actually just be consistent and win the games that they're supposed to win and maybe schedule a little tough, I think BYU could actually be a college football playoff team.
Oh, dude, I'm totally with you. This was great. I really enjoyed it. Again, can we please? You were totally right, Teran. Let's go. Pop-Tart Bowl, baby. I am with it. I love me some Pop-Tarts, and I think everybody else does too. So I would love that as a college football playoff game. So next out, Teran, absolute bowl season chaos in Albuquerque. Man, the Lobos played in a crazy game a couple days ago. And, well, looks like they took the chaos with them back to New Mexico for the New Mexico Bowl, even though they weren't in it. I'm just saying. Number 23, North Texas survives a wild game. Now, you know me, I hate a lot of points. I'm a defensive guy. But, dude, this was a great game. And San Diego State, neither of us were too high on them this year. They finally got it together, and they almost won this thing. North Texas ultimately won it. But, oh, my gosh, what a game. 49-47. Crazy shootout between these two teams in the New Mexico Bowl. Drew Messmaker throws for 3 touchdowns. Caleb Hawkins exposed for 198 yards, 3 total touchdowns. And Cameron Dorner hauls in 2 scores. The Mean Green pile up 618 yards, hold off a furious late rally from Kyle Crum and the Aztecs, who scored 27 points in the fourth quarter but come just short at the buzzer. How about that?
I think this is the most total yards offensively and most points scored in the New Mexico Bowl. But, man, if only San Diego State had this offensive output against New Mexico. If they had that, then they would have been in the Mountain West Conference championship instead of the likes of UNLV or Boise State. But, yeah, it shows that San Diego State has an offense. It's just that they actually have to they actually have to show up and not assume that their offense is going to show up. So yeah, there was a lot of offense. Both these teams said, screw it. Let's just play backyard football. And who knows what North Texas has in store for us. I think North Texas can be a possible sneaky good college football playoff team in the group of 5. Hopefully for their sake, the college football playoff doesn't get rid of the group of 5 thing. But, yeah, this was a very fun game. I was really impressed by both these teams. And San Diego State showed a lot of fight, even when it looked like everything was bleak. And yeah, the fact that I just feel that I kind of question some of their moves late in the game. They let the ball run out. They should have probably just tried to push it when they were at the goal line for one, and then try to kick and recover the onside kick. Whereas, because even if they had recovered the onside kick at that moment when they got the touchdown with 1 second left, that 1 second would have gone off the clock, and then eventually that would have been game right there. So
yes.
A great game overall. It kind of made me feel a little bit better after earlier Saturday, but yeah, that was a very, very exciting game.
That was a great one. I really enjoyed that one, man. Hats off to rough go for San Diego State. I wish they would have won that one, but hats off for the Mean Green, man. This is the best I think they've been in forever. It's really, really, really good year for them. So great way to end it off. Statement winning Jacksonville, man. Freaking number 19 Virginia outlasts Mizzou 13-7. Now that's the kind of game I like. Defense to cap off an 11-3 season with a gritty victory in the Tax Slayer Gator Bowl. The Cavaliers controlled the game behind Harrison Whaley's touchdown run, clutch kicks from Will Bettridge, and a ball control clinic that produced freaking 38 plus minutes of offense possession, which is amazing, man. Claudia Morris kept the chains moving. The UVA defense locked it down, man. The Tigers, the offense could never recover like after that opening score. It was kind of crazy, but a tough old school kind of game. Loved it. It was a good one.
Absolutely. And see, this is the type of Virginia team that we were all expecting. This is the Virginia team we should have gotten in the ACC championship game. Had we gotten this Virginia team, then maybe they're in the college football playoff instead of the likes of Tulane or James Madison. But
yeah,
this was an interesting game, if you ask me. I thought the offense wasn't really existent. I thought both these teams' defenses really showed up. And yeah, Virginia, I think, proved that they should have been in the college football playoff had they won the ACC championship. And they really dominated time of possession. Like you mentioned, over 38 minutes of time of possession. And I think this was the Virginia team that we should have gotten in the ACC championship against Duke. But yeah, for Missouri, this is just kind of one of those seasons. They lost their quarterback earlier in the year. But the fact that Zollers was able to utilize the QB position to his advantage was pretty darn good. So I got to give him some props. But in the end, it was all Virginia for the most part after the first quarter.
It was a crazy game, man. Really, really, really good game by those guys. Next up, Instant Texas Bowl Classic. Houston rallies past LSU 38-35 in a thriller in the Kidner's Texas Bowl as Connor Wigman throws for 4 touchdowns. Wigman. Is that how you say his name? Wigman?
Yeah.
Throws for 4 touchdowns and finishes with 236 yards to lift the Cougars to 10-3 after early fireworks from Berrien Brown and Trey Des Green. Houston answered with big drives and clutch throws to Amari Thomas and Tanner Keziol, I believe they say his name, and a dagger run by Dean Connors, man. So it was pretty crazy. Michael Van Buren Jr. kept LSU fighting to the end, but time ran out in NRG Stadium, man. So statement win, huge statement win there for Houston. Got that thing done. And LSU, well, the woes just kind of continued to the end for them, didn't it?
Yeah, and this is the third time Houston has surpassed 10 wins. Since I think 2010 or something like that, or in the last 10 years, which, I mean, Houston's on the up and up, and I'll just say it like it is. This was a very good game from Houston. They fell behind 14-0 early, and I was thinking, this Houston, you may have a problem, but Houston really brought it back. I thought Connor Wigman was absolutely astounding, and Dean Connors was also pretty good as well. So I think overall the Houston offense was just clicking on all cylinders, and they prevented Wigman from getting sacked. And then for LSU, contrary to popular belief, Lane Kiffin did not coach this team. It was Brian Wilson III who coached this team. So everyone that was saying, everyone that wanted to dunk on Lane Kiffin, well, he wasn't coaching. He actually was in the ESPN booth talking about the future of LSU and whatnot. So I'll give it up to Michael Van Buren Jr. The guy had to fill in for Garrett Nussmeier, and obviously losing Garrett Nussmeier just really sucked just because he was kind of their cornerstone guy. But I think for LSU, this was just kind of that type of season. They lost Brian Kelly midway through the season, and they just could not recover. It's like ever since they beat Clemson, they just could not find that perfection to them. So hopefully for LSU's sake, they'll be back next year. They should with a new head coach in Lane Kiffin. But overall for LSU, this was just kind of a season where you got to flush it down the toilet and just look ahead to next year.
Kind of sucks, right? But it's all right. Hey, on to the next year. They got some bright things coming too, like you said. I mean, Kiffin and the whole deal. So we'll see how that goes. All right, Teran. So we got all 8 games down for there. Let's transition over to our 2 NFL games.
Well, actually, you're missing one, the Snoop Dogg Bowl.
Oh, that's right. And that's the one I had there at the very end, and I forgot it. I know. I'm telling you, Teran, that's the crazy part. When you do everything, I'm doing everything over here, getting all the tweets out and everything. That does happen. So, yeah. The Snoop Dogg Bowl was obviously, and I put that one at very last, and I obviously I would skip it, but that one was so much fun. It's so much fun seeing Snoop doing his thing, man, and just a great atmosphere. I love it. I really enjoy that game every single year. But these guys definitely, man, what a victory for Fresno State. Like these dudes, man. Miami of Ohio got a field goal, and this was like at the start of the freaking game. Nothing. Got nothing whatsoever. Fresno State just dominated, man. These guys had a very good game overall. And I just, let me go ahead and go back there. To the FBS. Let me start that over, that segment over. So again, great victory here from Fresno State. They locked down Miami of Ohio 18-3 in the Arizona Bowl, winning a defensive slugfest in the Snoop Dogg Arizona Bowl. Just crazy game, man. Quarterback E.J. Warner throws the game's only touchdown. You have wide receiver Jalen Freeman hauls in 7 catches for 143 yards. Kicker Dylan Lynch delivers 4 field goals as the Bulldogs control possession and basically the entire game. Great game for these guys, man. Hats off to Fresno State on a big victory there, and just rough go for Miami of Ohio.
Yeah, and Fresno State being the Bulldogs, this was I kind of figured they would win just because it's the Snoop Dogg Bowl and the Fresno State are known as the Bulldogs. But that aside, yeah, this was kind of a game that Miami would like to forget just because Thomas Gotkowski, he only had 6 completions, and I feel for the poor kid. I don't think today's game really showcased who he truly was, and I think that Fresno State just proved that they were the better team. I think Fresno State was better defensively. I think they were efficient offensively, and I think that Fresno State just really looked like the part of the top dog, no pun intended. So, and they almost had 400 yards of offense. 400 yards of offense. They pretty much doubled the offensive stats that Miami had. So, for Fresno State, they were just on their A game. And yeah, for Miami, you just got to flush this loss down the toilet.
Yeah, that's for dang sure. Well, talking about flushing games down the toilet. Sorry, man. Off to the NFL. And this was my bad, bro. Saturday's first NFL game ended up being a complete clunker for one team and a pretty surprising victory for the other. The Houston Texans, man, they jumped out to a fast lead behind CJ Stroud. It was 14-0 in this game early on. They got their first quarter strikes in and never fully let go. Holding the Chargers, a late push for the Chargers. They held them to 20-16 road win here at SoFi. And Houston's defense bent but didn't break in the second half. Fairbarn's pair of fourth quarter field goals just, officially sealed it. And the victory clinches a playoff spot for the Texans, while the Chargers dropped to 11-5 and now shift their focus to Week 18.
Oh,
I know. Pain, Teran, pain.
You ever watch the documentary Idiocracy?
Oh my gosh.
Pretty much what the Chargers were in this game. I mean,
I
look, don't get me wrong, they did all they could to try to rally back, but this was just so frustrating. And there wasn't one thing that they just missed out on. Like, everything just felt like they were just getting in their own way. They were just getting in their own way. Every time they had a big play, they would always take 10 steps backward. Like, for example, Justin Herbert had a great dime to Quentin Johnston, and then next play, Chargers tried to go tempo, and Herbert throws it to Oronde Gadsden Jr., but it goes off his hands and then goes into the hands of the defender. It's like, oh no. And eventually, and then the missed kicks were also a big thing for the Chargers, because Cameron Dicker going into that game, he had never missed a PAT in his NFL career, and he hadn't missed a field goal from under 40 yards in his career until then. So the fact that he went all that time without having a clunker game was really actually impressive. But yeah, this was a game the Chargers really needed to win, because since they lost, the Broncos are now the AFC West champions, and the Texans officially punched their ticket into the playoffs, and they still have a chance for the division next week. So, man, a tough opportunity for the Chargers. They still have a chance for the 5 seed, but honestly, it's like this game kind of reinforces why everyone is not too high on the Chargers. I mean, Justin Herbert got sacked 5 times. The Chargers didn't get any sacks on CJ Stroud, even though they technically did get one, but that was nullified by one of the worst illegal contact calls, which, look, I'm not going to say that was what lost the Chargers the game. Like, Chargers had no business giving up those 2 big plays to CJ Stroud to start the game. So I think for the Chargers, they did this to themselves. They have to learn to play a full 4 quarters. I just felt like they forgot that they were playing on Saturday. So yeah, tough loss, but hopefully for the Chargers' sake, they can actually, play a complete game. And it shows that they need touchdowns and not field goals. If they could have gotten a touchdown on that one drive or a touchdown off the interception, I think it would have been better. That would have been huge.
That's the name of the game for sure, man. So rough go for the Chargers, man. But even rougher go, I think. I don't know, maybe not, but go Pack Go was really no Pack no. I'm sorry, bro. Oh no. That's what happens when you face a very desperate Packers team, because these dudes came out, man. Derrick Henry went nuclear. 216 yards, 4 touchdowns, season on the line. Baltimore stays alive in the playoff hunt, while Green Bay drops to 9-6-1, and they have officially lost the NFC North crown. How about this, dude?
Yep. I think the Chicago Bears should be sending a gift basket to the Baltimore Ravens after this win. But yeah, Baltimore, look, see, John Harbaugh, this is what happens when you utilize one of the best running backs in the league. This is what the result that you get instead of just veering away from him. So I thought Derrick Henry was very efficient, and I think John Harbaugh might have just saved his job. So Ravens still have a chance to make the playoffs and win the division. It's just that now they got to win in Week 18, which I'm kind of looking a little too far ahead, but a big win for Baltimore. And for the Packers, they're already in, thankfully for their sake. But I think the best they can probably get is I actually know I think they'll be the 7 seed regardless. So yeah, because the Rams have 11 wins, the Niners/Seahawks will have 12 wins. So yeah, I think for the Packers, they kind of made their own bed, and now they're gonna have to sleep in it.
And that's exactly what happened, man. Rough go for those guys. Ouch. Moving on to yesterday, the conclusion of Week 17. Well, here we go. Sunday was packed full of crazy games, man. And wow, Bengals, look, it sucks, right? If only they would have had Joe sooner. But behind a sharp day from Joe Burrow and 2 rushing touchdowns from Chase Brown, Cincinnati rolled at home, man. They kept its faint playoff hopes alive, even though I think they're officially eliminated. I don't know where they are.
No, they're out.
They're out, right? Okay, that's what I thought. Yeah, they're done now for sure. And Arizona continues a difficult finish to the season. Horrible game, 37-17 37-14, Bengals win this one at home.
Yeah, this is kind of showing what would have happened if Joe Burrow was healthy throughout most of the season. So this is actually the first time the Bengals have won 2 in a row since when they started the season off 2-0, which was the game where we saw Burrow go out with the injury. But yeah, this just goes to show that the Bengals, if they can just keep Joe Burrow healthy, I think they might actually be something. And for the Cardinals, there was one positive for them. Hard to believe considering they
season's
gave up
almost over?
over 400 yards of offense to the other team.
Wow.
Trey McBride actually recorded the most receptions by a tight end in NFL history. So there was one positive right there. But other than that, look, you face one of the worst defenses in the league, and the fact that you only put 14 points is just terrible. Cardinals really need a massive reset.
Yeah, the Cardinals, and I'm telling you, man, there's a group of teams right now in the NFL that just need to like not play next year or something. There's bad things are going to big time relegate, please. So next up, man, this game made me laugh so many times over. Browns knock off the Steelers 13-6. A defensive slugfest here in the AFC North ends with Cleveland playing spoiler despite already being out for since the preseason. Despite steady work from Jalen Warren, Pittsburgh takes a costly loss in the playoff race, while the Browns get a nice right jab in there and hit their rivals right in the face, man. And knocking these guys down. How about that game? 13-6, Browns.
Yeah, there was a stat that you're going to be astounded by. The Steelers are 1-6-1 when playing the Cleveland Browns in Cleveland. So if I had known that stat, I would have picked the Browns to win. Because let's be honest with ourselves, the Steelers, they always find a way to get in their own way.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man. The division was right there for the taking, and now they kind of whiffed it away, and now they got to play a Week 18 game against the Ravens for the division crown. But hopefully for the Browns' sake, they can hit the massive reset button and go forward with Shedeur Saunders. I think Saunders has the potential. It's just that the Browns just need to build around him. And then for the Steelers, the one good thing about the Steelers is that they prevented Myles Garrett from getting a sack. But that's basically just the only good thing that happened, just because, since they prevented Myles Garrett from getting the sack, he won't be cracking the record this week. But that's only the small victory. The true victory was they should have won the game, and they actually had a chance to do so. They had a fourth and goal opportunity, and then unfortunately Rodgers just threw an incompletion, and that was pretty much that. So Steelers, you got a lot of work to do. No matter who wins the AFC North, I feel that team will lose to the 5 seed, whether it's the Chargers or the Texans or the Jags.
Yeah, there's something odd there, but what do you do, right? But I'm sorry. I will laugh at the Steelers 1,000 times over because, wow. Freaking Browns. It's like losing to the Raiders right now, okay? Jaguars, man, get this one 23-17 over the Colts. Jacksonville tightens its grip on the AFC South with a critical win. Trevor Lawrence managed the game, and the Jaguars defense closed it late in Indianapolis. They've already been eliminated, but nice victory here for the guys in teal.
Yeah, and fun fact, Liam Cohen now is the first coach to coach a team to 12 wins after the team previously had 4 or fewer wins. So Liam Cohen, I think, might be a candidate for Coach of the Year. But yeah, Jacksonville has been looking really good, and Trevor Lawrence has really turned it around. I mean, he obviously didn't have the greatest and most flashiest game, but it was very serviceable, as Parker Washington also looked good as well. Man, I wish the Colts had one final push left in them in terms of that game. I feel they could have won this game, but unfortunately just ineptitude all over the place just could not get them the win. And this has been the Colts season. They went from 8-2 to now 8-8, which the downfall of this team must be studied. This might be a worse collapse than the Carolina Panthers, I think, in 2018, I think. Yeah, 2018. But yeah, Colts, just look ahead to next year. Next week, the Colts are starting Riley Leonard, which means, unfortunately, Philip Rivers' time is sadly up. Though I think they should still start Rivers one last time.
He had a few good games to get out there for old time's sake. So next up, the Dolphins knock off a team. I'm sorry, the Buccaneers. All year long they were suspect, and honestly, this was the solidification right here. They were never a for real team. I'm sorry. Miami holds serve, man, at home. They did really, really well. As David, look, man, I'm sorry, David. Devon, how do you say his last name again?
Devon Achane.
Achane. I always want to call him McCain, but Achane got it done, man. Like, he controlled the tempo, honestly, like through the entire game. The Dolphins, they stay alive in the AFC race. Actually, no, they don't. They're gone now, right? They're completely gone. They've been out. At least what I think. But despite strong,
the Bucks?
No, the Dolphins, they're out.
Yeah, the Dolphins have been eliminated for a while.
Yeah, they've been out. I'm sorry. Despite a strong passing day from Baker Mayfield, the Bucks are basically done, dude. They're not even. This game isn't even worth talking about. I think it's hilarious. I'm sorry. The Dolphins. You lose to the Dolphins right now. The stakes of the game, especially when you're a team who has a chance to actually make something happen. Yeah, they deserve to lose. I'm sorry.
Yeah, the Dolphins started Quinn Ewers at quarterback. I mean, if the Bucks had faced Quinn Ewers last week instead of this week, I think the Bucks would have won, just because Texas quarterbacks in the NFL that get their first start always lose more often than not. But the Buccaneers, remember when the Bucks started 6-2? They have gone 1-7 following that. It's that bad for the Bucks. And either the NFC South champion will either be sub 500 or it'll be just one game above 500. But yeah, the Bucks have been in massive freefall mode. I just can't pinpoint a game where they were broken. I think the Rams might have broken this team, because even against the Cardinals, the Bucks haven't looked good. So, and this is another one-score loss, because they've lost 4 straight games, and all 4 of those losses have been by 1 score. So it's not that the Bucks have been bad; it's just that the Bucks have been inconsistent. And this is even when Baker Mayfield is putting up big numbers.
Yeah,
and heck, it's so. I ponder this. How is Mike Evans not getting the ball? Why is their leading receiver Jalen McMillan? Am I missing something here in terms of Mike Evans getting hurt? I know Chris Godwin had a score, but still, it's like, dude. Well, he did have a score, but it's just that the Bucks overall just can't seem to get out of their own way.
They look like crap, and that's all there is to it. So Saints get it done over the Titans, which isn't really a hard thing to do. 4 straight wins for New Orleans, as Tyler Shutt throws for 333 yards, and Chris Olave delivers another big receiving day, man. So though both teams have already been eliminated, it was a pretty fun game to watch.
Yeah, it was pretty good. I mean, I can't believe it. The Saints have won 4 straight games, and their defense is. I still can't believe it. Brandon Staley is actually making this defense look pretty darn good. I mean, this was the battle of this year's draft quarterback class. I mean, you had Tyler Shuck coming out of Louisville, and then you obviously had Cam Ward coming out of Miami. And Shuck was able to outduel Cam Ward. Now, Cam Ward did look pretty good, but I think Shuck is playing for possibly a spot on the roster, and he's playing to be the Saints' future quarterback, which I think is pretty darn good, especially since it looked pretty bleak for the Saints in the second half until they were able to wake up that offense. So this week was kind of the week where the Saints needed to have their offense row the boat instead of have the defense row the boat. So I think for the Saints, they're starting to maybe look promising. I think they'll give their coaching staff one more year, but this is a solid win if you ask me, even though the Titans are now back to losing at home again.
Damn Titans. But yeah, man, solid game here overall. You gotta give them some props though. I don't know. The Titans are both teams are just bad. I'm sorry. I can't even really give them too many props. It was a fun game, though. That's all I will say. So next game here, we have the Patriots doing Patriots things. And boy, do I dare say these guys are back. Oh my gosh, man. The Patriots are here to freaking play. And I'm thoroughly impressed right now with this team. These guys played well. You know, you gotta give props where props are due. This team is looking pretty solid right now. Statement performance here from Drake May. He tossed 5 touchdown passes. They dominated from start to finish. The Patriots just derail the already beat down Jets. 42-10. What do you say?
It looked like Drake May, to quote somebody, was playing 7-on-7 out there, 7-on-7 football. But yeah, this was a dominant performance from the Patriots. The Patriots controlled everything so much that they even called timeout just so the Jets could run one more play before halftime, which I thought was pretty funny by Mike Vrabel. But the Patriots went undefeated on the road, which is not an easy thing to do. I don't think anyone had that on their bingo card. No. I mean, I knew the Patriots were going to be improved. I knew they were going to be a fringe playoff team. But for them to be 13-3 is is really impressive. I know you can only play the teams on your schedule, but the fact that the Patriots are also AFC East champions shows that Mike Vrabel was indeed the right hire. And heaven knows if Drake May will be the MVP this year. It'll either be between him or Matthew Stafford. But I think this win is big because the Patriots also still have the number 1 seed on the table next week. So we'll have to wait and see what happens then.
Yes. And dude, we have some fun stuff there coming up next year even this year, man. Let's see how far the Patriots go. Seahawks get it done, man. Knocked off the Panthers. You were totally right. They were too much for these guys. Seattle has locked in behind Zach Charbonnet's 2-touchdown day and just another efficient outing for Sam Darnold. Dude, the Seahawks strengthen their playoff position. Carolina, right down the toilet.
Yeah, Panthers, if only they had seen that the Bucs had lost to the Dolphins. Had they seen that, I think they would have definitely had a little bit more motivation. But the Panthers was just so awful. I mean, how do you only have 16 passing yards from Bryce Young and only 139 total yards of offense? That's just sad right there. And the first half was looking really promising for the Panthers. Their defense was looking solid. But it's just that the second half, that's when Zach Charbonnet kind of caught his second wind. Sam Darnold was serviceable. Wasn't all that great, but still, the fact that he was able to rebound in the second half was impressive. So Seahawks are now in a position to have the 1 seed and the division title. It's just, number 1 seed and the division title. Whereas the Panthers, they have to play a win and in game next week against Tampa, where if they win, then they're the division champs. But if they lose, then they'll have screwed the pooch.
Basically, in so many ways. New York closes the season strong. Well, not fully closed, but at least this is the probably last one they'll get. That's why I said they close the season strong, because Jackson Dart, he was playing 7-on-7, and he actually was playing 7-on-7. There was nobody out there on defense. 2 rushing touchdowns, which was crazy, and a game-breaking 95-yard kick return from Deontay Banks. Las Vegas has been eliminated since the draft, and this has been it was a new high. They are now the number 1 overall draft pick. And I have some Raider comedy for you here, Teran, if you're down for some Raider comedy. It's always a good time with some Raider comedy, right? So I had to look up the last 22 years since the Raiders were a good team. The last time the Raiders were actually a threat, we're talking freaking Rich Gannon, okay? In 2003, when they lost the Super Bowl and they got destroyed by right here. Well, and rest in peace, Qualcomm, when they got destroyed by Tampa Bay and Brad Johnson and Warren Sapp and all and company, Mike Allslott and all them. So in 2003, a couple months later afterwards, Carson Palmer was drafted. Teran, do you realize that Carson Palmer not only had a successful career, was hurt, came back, played again for Bruce Arians with the Cardinals, retired, and took a team to a state championship as a head coach, and the Raiders still haven't been good since he was drafted. Isn't that crazy?
Yep. Now that right there is the definition of idiocracy. That's the documentary of idiocracy.
Dude, right? I mean, oh my gosh. Like, yeah. So anyway, since then, the Raiders have actually only picked one time at number one since those years, and that was obviously 2007, where they had drafted Jamarcus Russell, which of course was a legendary Raider, right? in lots of different ways and on the field. But yeah, kind of crazy game, crazy stuff here. But believe it or not, they've only had the number one overall draft pick since then. Well, now they're looking at it. It's not sealed just yet, but they could actually get the number one overall draft pick. Regardless, the Giants beat them like they stole something, 34-10. Hilarious game. Teran, the toilet bowl didn't even look like a toilet bowl. Look at the Giants were actually a good team, and the Raiders are actually just the toilet.
Yeah, I think the Giants kind of forgot the assignment, but oh man, you know what would be funny if the Raiders wound up winning against the Chiefs, who have a third string backup, which that would be so on par for the Raiders to win in Week 18 and lose out on the number one pick. But yeah, there's not much to say about this game.
No.
This was ugly with a capital U. I mean, the Raiders are pretty much a clown car in a clown suit. So, nothing more to say. The Giants got their first road win of the season, which hard to believe that's a thing right there. And both teams, I think this is the first game where both teams had more than 10 losses and both teams were on 9-game losing streaks going in. So, yeah, it was that type of ugly.
Very, very ugly. So, yeah, that was that. And let's just end that because it was horrible. Because the other game that was on at the same time was a good one, man. Philadelphia survives a late rally as Justin Fields finds Dallas Goedert early, and the defense stuffs Buffalo's last-ditch 2-point try. The misconversion leaves the Bills short in a playoff positioning thriller. What a game. 13-12. Eagles win this one on the road.
Yeah, this was rather an interesting game, if you ask me. I mean, this game was a defensive slugfest. Eagles had a lot of offensive ineptitude. The Bills didn't show up until the fourth quarter offensively. It was just that type of ugly game right there. And man, the Bills might be kicking themselves because their extra point got blocked by Jalen Phillips. And then I get going for two. That was the right call. Go for the win. But man, Josh Allen's going to want that throwback just because I think he definitely he had the right idea going for Shakir, but unfortunately that throw was just totally offline. So I think for Buffalo, they'll only go as far as Josh Allen takes them. I think the Bills are kind of the same thing with the Chargers. They'll only go as far as their quarterback takes them. And because they lost this, the AFC East was lost to the Patriots. But Eagles won in ugly fashion. I just feel that the Eagles aren't going too far when it comes to the playoffs. I mean, they're the reigning Super Bowl champs, but they haven't played the part, in my opinion.
They don't look like it. And I'm telling you, as you've heard their fans do this a lot this year. They've been booed as opposed to the Raiders. Dumpster fire. So, anyway. So, all right, there. And then Sunday Night Football last night, man. Brock Purdy delivers late, hitting Young Jennings for the go-ahead touchdown with 2:15 left as San Francisco survives a shootout. Caleb Williams and DeAndre Swift kept Chicago swinging to the final snap, but just didn't end well for those guys. Amazing game. Caleb Williams scrambles a little bit, couldn't find nobody, threw it just short, game over. Niners win at home. That was a crazy game.
Indeed. This is definitely going to be a Game of the Year candidate, in my opinion. And this was kind of a crucial gut check win for the Niners, just because they didn't have George Kittle. They didn't have Trent Williams, who was out. No Joey Bosa, no Fred Warner. But the fact that the Niners wound up winning was very impressive. They cooled off a very good Bears team who had 6 wins in the final 2 minutes this season. So I think for the Bears, it was a tough loss, but they're still a threat when it comes to the postseason. I think this team can still do some damage. And for the Niners, they're now in a position to get the number 1 overall seed. And let alone, if they win next week, then they won't have to travel at all for the playoffs because the Super Bowl is going to be held in Santa Clara. So definitely something to keep an eye out for. And the Niners could definitely, if the Niners get healthy in the next few weeks, I think they're a threat to win the Super Bowl. But we shall see.
They could definitely be. And of course, we already previewed this on Saturday's show. But tonight, man, we both picked the Rams, obviously. But Rams, Falcons tonight. Rams head on over to the other side of the country to take on the Dirty Birds, obviously. So we both picked those Rams to win it. But should be a fun game. Any more comments on that one?
So if the Falcons win tonight and then they win tomorrow, or not tomorrow. If the Falcons win tonight and then they win the following week, then and if the Bucks beat the Panthers, then the Falcons, Bucks, and Panthers will all be tied for first in the NFC South. But the one who would have the tiebreaker in that regard would be the Panthers, as they would be the division champs, but that's barring if the Falcons can beat the Rams tonight, which the Rams need this win just because even though they can't get the number 1 seed, they still need to get that 5 seed because look, no matter who comes out of the NFC South, I think whoever is the 5 seed is going to just steamroll them. I feel that the Rams don't match up well against the Eagles, maybe not the Bears either, but well, I don't even think they're going to get the Bears. But regardless, I think what's more ideal is that the Rams get the 5 seed. They got to win tonight, and they got to win next week. And they got to get out there as healthy as possible because they obviously won't have Devontae Adams unless he somehow magically plays. But I think the Rams should just steamroll the Falcons regardless.
Nope, totally with you, man. I believe so. So, okay, so we got all those games out of the way. So we fully previewed that one on Saturday's show. We got a few picks to make, and then we're out of here for the morning, Terrence. So let's do it, man. We got some games coming on up today and tomorrow. So coming up today, man, we have one bowl game today, and then, of course, Bud Night football later on tonight. But coming up in just about 2 hours, we have let's see, what is this? Oh, the JB Lab Birmingham Bowl. Hey, that's coming up today as Georgia Southern at 6-6 meets App State, good old Appalachian State at 5-7. This is going to be at Protective Stadium with the Eagles looking to finish strong under Jalen Franks IV. Franks 2,758 yards, 19 touchdowns, leads a balanced attack featuring Omar Arnold on the ground, an explosive wide receiver, Caleb Brown. He has over 1,000 yards, 1,049 to be exact, 14 touchdowns on the year, and he's just done really, really well. So Appalachian State looks to play spoiler here and to play well. This should be a really fun game coming up in a couple hours, man. Who are you taking?
Well, it's round 2 between these two teams as Georgia Southern wound up winning the first meeting 25-23. See, this is what happens when a lot of these teams like opt out. And I guess if you opt out of a bowl game, you get fined or something like that.
Notre Dame.
But either way, you know what? Georgia Southern won the first meeting. This time, I think App State wins this meeting. This is no offense to this bowl, unless you're a Sun Belt Conference fan. I feel this is kind of the bowl where you'd rather watch paint dry or you'd rather watch the Rams Falcons. But I'm going to take App State to win this one. I think it's going to be a close one, but I got App State winning.
Also, I'll go Georgia Southern. Screw it. Let's have some fun here. All right, man. Tomorrow, you already know what day it is. This one, you know what? I'm going to do the other ones first because this is the last one. So, all right. Well, we got 3 bowl games tomorrow, and then Teran and I will be back on New Year's Eve morning to cap off the rest. Well, those bowl games are going to be a lot of fun, of course, because then we got the college football playoff and everything in there, and we'll preview all the way till Friday. And then, of course, we'll have another show on Friday morning, and then another one on Saturday morning, and it's just how we do it, man. So, all right, here we go. Bowl season's really crazy for us, so we love it. But, all right, so coming up tomorrow, Independence Bowl preview. We have Coastal Carolina at 6-6. meets Louisiana Tech at 7-5. This is the Radiance Technologies Independent Bowl at Independence Stadium. The Bulldogs aim to control the game behind quarterback Blake Baker and running back Cody Theven, I believe how you say his name, Thevenin. While Coastal Carolina, they look to create chaos and flip momentum early. Can La Tech protect home state pride? Or does CCU spoil this party in Shreveport? What do you think?
This was going to be one of those interesting bowls, if you ask me. But I'm going to take Louisiana Tech to win. I just don't think Coastal Carolina is as good as they have been in years past. I think La Tech takes it.
As much as I like Coastal Carolina too, the Chanticleers, I gotta take La Tech as well. And the Music City Bowl, man, should be fun. Tennessee at 8-4, they had every chance this year to be in that college football playoff. So did Illinois at 8-5. They knocked off SC this year, so they collide. Both these teams collided in Nashville for the Music City Bowl at Nissan Stadium. The Vols offense rolls behind quarterback Joe Aguilar and running back Dylan Bishop and wide receiver Chris Brazel. The second. This dude's amazing. They have a really, really good, pretty solid offense. But the Illini bring balance, toughness, and confidence to this SEC Big Ten showdown. Expect fireworks and just really a lot of physicality in this game. Who you got?
This is the battle of the Mid-Orange Bowl. I would say the Orange Bowl, but that's kind of already taken. Man, Tennessee is technically the home team because it's being played in Tennessee, but I can't believe I'm actually going to do this. I'm going to pick Illinois. The Big Ten has yet to lose a bowl game this year, and of all of the conferences that have played a minimum of three, or that are going to be playing a minimum of 3 bowl games, the Big Ten has yet to lose a bowl game, but I think Illinois takes it over Tennessee. I don't know how, I don't know why, and I hope for the sake of Illinois, they're playing Luke Altmaier and Hank Beatty. If those two are playing, Illinois wins. If those two are sitting, then Illinois is going to get rolled past. But I'm going to take Illinois, hoping that Luke Altmaier and Hank Beatty are playing.
I think so. That's a good game, man. I'm going to go Illinois, too. I think they're at least the better team. So, all right, we're already tit for tat with this one. Same exact one. And then, of course, coming up tomorrow evening, well, hey, they won it, a year ago over Texas Tech. And, here they are again in the same bowl. But I'll take it. It's a good one. And this is actually a really fun game versus a very worthy opponent. Here we go, man. Fight on USC. 9-3. USC brings tons of star power to the Valero Alamo Bowl against TCU, who is at 8-4, the Horned Frogs, inside Alamo Dome. The Trojans lean on Kelly Miller in the run game. And big play. I don't know. Is he going to play, Teran? Is Mekhi Lemon going to play or no?
I don't think so.
I don't think he is either, actually.
I imagine he's declared for the draft. I think he has to be.
He declared already. That's right. Never mind. Yeah, I thought he was. So yeah, dang it. Okay, well, Frogs have their gunslinger Josh Hoover, 3,400 yards, 3,472 yards, 29 touchdowns on the year, man, and just think pace, points, and pressure. The 3 Ps define this game, man. So can TCU keep up, or does USC flex? And without some players, man, I think on both sides too. I'm not sure, but yeah, without Mekhi Lemon, that's gonna be a little tough. But here we go, man. SC taking on TCU. Obviously, we're both taking SC. But what do you think about this game?
Yeah, I'm taking USC as well. I'm certain USC has other good receivers. I'm hoping, and I wish USC could do this. I wish Trent Mosley could play because he's committed to USC and he looked so good for Santa Margarita. But unfortunately, he's not classified to being in college just yet. So I still think USC could win, whether they have Jaden Mayava at quarterback or Husan Longstreet. I imagine Mayava is going to be at QB. But look, USC's got to win this one. I don't want TCU winning. Otherwise, my brother's going to be over the moon about this just because he lives in the Fort Worth area. But yeah, give me USC to win. I trust Lincoln Riley. And yeah, they did beat Texas A&M last year in the Vegas Bowl, that was some funny stuff. I know USC is the quote-unquote road team because TCU is from Texas, USC isn't. But I don't care what it takes. USC is going to win this one, no doubt about it. They have to prepare themselves for next year, generate some sort of momentum for next year, and get to 10 wins, please.
Please, freaking USC. They just find ways to upset us so many ways, so hopefully they don't this year. So, all right, Teran, well, that's going to do it, man. We are all but done today. But a few things here at the end here. Fun show as always, man. Enjoy doing this. Coming up, man, like I said, we got our show on Wednesday morning. Wednesday, man, the Relier Quest Bowl. Looking forward to that one. The Tony Tiger Sun Bowl. We have the Cheez-It Citrus Bowl, of course. And then, then the SRS Distribution Las Vegas Bowl. That should actually be a fun one, too. Nebraska and Utah. Then, of course, we have the College Football Playoff quarterfinals, man. Oh, my gosh. Miami and Ohio going head-to-head. We are going to have a really fun game there. And on New Year's Eve. And then, of course, New Year's. That's going to be fun, too. January, starting the day off with that Orange Bowl. We got that sucker coming on up, man. Sugar Bowl, of course, the famous and infamous Rose Bowl on that day. So not in that order. Sorry, it'll be Orange Bowl, Rose Bowl, and Sugar Bowl. And again, all those games are going to be a lot of fun. We're going to find out who's going to semifinals. So lots of great stuff there. Then Teran and I will see you on Friday morning to get you ready for the Lockheed Martin Armed Forces Bowl, AutoZone Liberty Bowl, the Holiday Bowl, the Trust and Will Holiday Bowl, and the Duke's Mail Bowl. So all kinds of bowls, more bowls than you ever thought. I hope you guys like some cereal because that's what bowl season's all about. Plenty coming your way. And then, of course, that's pretty much where it ends. I mean, we got that. And then, of course, next week, the 2 semis, and that's it. So, Teran, it's been a fun bowl season, man. Lots of great games. Still some great games coming your way. Any last thoughts before we're out of here today?
Well, now that you mentioned the bowl season, you're not too far off in terms of the pick'ems. I'm leading by 2 games, but don't worry, there's plenty of games left at the halfway point. So.
Looking forward to it, man. So,
not trying to gloat or anything, but you still have a chance. So.
We'll see. But great stuff, man. Always looking forward to it. Great games coming your way. And I really, honestly, right now, just, oh man, we can only hope SC gets out there and gets it done. But hey, TCU, fun game, man. That's gonna be a fun game tomorrow night. And of course, like I said, stay tuned today, guys. We got a good one, guys. This is gonna be a fun one today. I really do. I like it. Georgia Southern, App State, the JB Lab, Birmingham Bowl coming up in just about 2 hours. For Teran Rodriguez, from me, your boy Larry B. We will see you guys Wednesday morning. Be there, y'all. With that said, have a wonderful night. Have a wonderful day. Take care. And as always, God bless.
Fight on.
Peace. Fight on and peace.